Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another short episode of the Normalize Money Show. We are trying to keep these episodes to 5 to 10 minutes. We know that our students are very busy, and we would like for you guys, after you listen in today, to please carve out 30 minutes this week and do a deep dive into this lesson. In this case, though, we have two things to go over. So, the first thing I wanted to bring up is the Normalize Money Show is actually a quick and free way for people to follow our structured night class. And in doing these very short episodes, we are giving you the homework that you can do yourself if you want to improve your financial situation. And we really hope that you do that. And so, normally in our first couple classes, actually, the very first night class, we will have people take a survey and let us know how much financial knowledge they have. I have one of the surveys here. We ask if you have knowledge about your credit scores, reading financial statements, investing, mortgage rates, buying a house, getting loans, and all kinds of things. And so the reason I bring this up is because normally when people start this class, they would rate themselves maybe 0 or 1 in a lot of these financial areas, having the knowledge because it's not really taught in many schools anymore. And we want, when you listen to these quick classes, to walk away with having an A plus, that you'll know this knowledge if you do these lessons every week. And so today's lesson is about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and actually buying the audiobook on Amazon.com. You can normally get it for free if you sign up for a free Audible subscription. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kirsten Vanderjack, and I'm the founder and CEO of Katie's House Foundation, a nonprofit housing organization where we provide houses, which we then sublet to at-risk individuals, so that way they don't have to be homeless or live in a public shelter. And then I have Julie here with me. Julie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Julie Ann Ferraro. I live in the Midwest, and I'm an investor as well as a committee member on Katie's House Foundation.
Absolutely. And Julie, I hope you don't mind me saying, one of the things that I love about you have such a diverse background, but you also have 27 years in the police force. And I think that brings a very unique understanding to our channel. And so not only do you get a banker, a retired banker of 20 years who's also owned 10 businesses, but you get Julie, who, as an investor, having real estate, and also being a retired police officer, she has a lot of knowledge. So, Julie, have you read this book, and what do you think about it?
Yes, I read this book quite a while ago. I've read several of his other books as well, but this book is very basic. It goes over his experience and his story when he was younger, comparing his father to his best friend's father. And I think that everybody should read this book to kind of see the ways that we think we're taught to think about money a good way, but then when somebody else introduces you to look at money a different way and how to manage that money, you see a completely different way of thinking. And I think that that's what we'll do for our 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 anybody that's taking this class that's interested in learning will see what we're talking about when they read this.
Yeah, definitely. This book is just a really good overview, I think, of money, which is why we ask our students to buy this audiobook. It's easy to listen to for an hour every week, just kind of as you're doing laundry, along with listening, of course, to us on YouTube. You get your lesson plan. Okay, I have to go listen to Rich Dad, Poor Dad for an hour this week, and one chapter. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I personally relate to Rich Dad, Poor Dad because I grew up in the trailer park. And my parents, as smart as they were, they didn't have, I would say, the confidence maybe, and there was lack of expectation maybe for them, or maybe even too much expectation. But anyhow, meaning my dad, I think his parents expected a lot, and that was hard on him. But I would say because that life for me was poor, meaning really like even standing in the bread line on Wednesdays, that was an interesting and hard life versus we lived in a affluent neighborhood where my friends were cheerleaders and they had fancy cars and fancy houses, and so I was able to see their families, they own businesses, and they didn't want to work their lives away in that way, right? Being an
Yeah,
employee.
and I think one of the things that, the students will get out of this book is that there are ways to earn money, and we call that passive income, right? It's ways to earn money without actually going to work, because as you get older and you have, your focus changes and your health changes, you don't want to do that anymore. And you just actually sent me last week, I think it was, an article with a woman who is basically working full time, and she is living out of her van because she makes $8 too much, and she can't get the assistance she needs, but she wants to work full time because I think she feels like that's her way of, like doing the right thing, right? And we should work, we should have, but I think there's smarter ways to work. And I think any of the students that read this, that have been there, they've been exhausted, they've worked two jobs just trying to keep things afloat, that there are different ways to think about money and the ways that you earn money, and that especially our young viewers, this will come in handy down the road because you have such a better opportunity to make the better decisions.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I think having a calling, that is such a blessing, and I think that's what young people or even people who are looking to find something that's very fulfilling, then you're not going to work, right? You're doing what you're happy to do, and it's about monetizing it. And when you are young or you have an ability to change your career, let's say that you're living at one of our houses at Katie's House Foundation and you're able to save money because you're sharing your expenses, right? You have a beautiful house, you're saving money, it's affordable, and you're in a position where maybe you can move from one job to not just a career, but your calling. What's calling you and how can you move into that line of work? Because like you said, there are elderly people, and that's who we right now are primarily helping as people on fixed income at Katie's House Foundation. And I think the average income that they're making is about $1,200 per month, between 12 and 1,500 per month.
Yeah.
And they are living out of their vans and working two jobs. And so you don't want to get to 60 years old and have one, not done what you love your whole life, and two, make $8 too much to get, help from the government in some ways, but then not make enough that you can even afford a one bedroom apartment, because a one bedroom apartment, you normally have to verify that you have great credit and that you even have credit. So anyhow, watching this show is so important. Please go watch or listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad, because that is what we want you to finish the whole audiobook. It normally takes about 1 hour a week over the course of 4 months. And the Normalized Money Project night class is a 4-month class, like a college class for high school students and college students. But now we've moved it online so everyone can tune in. And this is what we're telling you to get started with right now, just so you can get
Yeah,
some.
so if you found value in this content, and you can like and subscribe below, you can also go back to our lessons prior, and we talk about some of the other lessons that we gave that have built on this one. So if you're just watching now and you haven't seen the videos before this, I recommend that you go back. But like and subscribe, make comments below how you like the book, and everything else that, if you have a question, we'll respond. So give us your feedback, and we'll see you next time.